LSIC meeting. And Coach, if you would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, board members. Mr. Secretary, make the record reflect all board members are present. Ms. Smith, thank you for kicking off our LSIC season. This is our first one for this school year. So with that, I will turn it over to you.
All right. I've given everybody a blue or a gray folder. That's going to be discussion tonight, just some things to look through.
I can't hear her at all.
Have a PowerPoint presentation.
Is it coming across the microphone?
Okay. Could you speak up just a little bit?
Mr. Hollingsworth, can you hear her, or do you need this mic?
I won't be able to see here on YouTube.
Can you hear me now?
Get to use your need to use your teacher voice.
Okay, that's good.
What do you need?
But that microphone is right there on the stand.
I can always measure this. Would it help if I gave her this mic?
I want to work this one.
Now that one's only going to go over the internet.
That's what I figured you might want.
Okay.
I think that's what that one is.
All right. Is that better?
Yeah.
I'll try to talk a little bit louder too. So I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight to Valley VPK8. Thank you for this opportunity to kick off the LSIC season. As I reflect on the past year, I am reminded of the immense growth that can emerge from moments of uncertainty. This time last year, I stepped into my role feeling overwhelmed, unaware of the depth and the journey ahead and the transformative experiences it would bring, both personally and professionally. I encountered challenges that tested my resilience and capacity to lead. There were times I questioned my adequacy, much like Moses did when called to lead. Yet, just as God sent Aaron to support Moses, I was blessed with a community of Aarons who served as pillars of strength and guidance. The staff of Valley VPK8 stood beside me, not only helping me to navigate personal trials, but also lifting me up professionally during moments when the weight of leadership felt too heavy. In those quiet, reflective moments when I questioned my role and effectiveness, I was reminded of a simple truth, yet profound, from God, just to trust Him. Through that trust, we witnessed not only growth in numbers, but also a measurable increase in proficiency. And if you look in your folder, I've included a data report of the growth and proficiency that we had. This progress is a direct result of the unwavering commitment, love, and support of this Valley VPK8 team, individuals who believe deeply in our shared vision and mission to empower all learners. As we begin this school year, we are grateful for the continued blessings at Valley VPK8. Our school has new teachers who have been hired who come with our same vision and mission to empower all learners. Together, we are committed to fostering student voice, exploration, and the development of essential soft skills. With this mindset, our team collaborated to design a new schedule, which you'll see in your folder, that provides students with more opportunities to engage in real-world learning. As we sat down and worked on our strategic plan, we wanted to start fresh. And we wanted to open up more opportunities, more ways for students to feel empowered and to have a variety of choices. This includes exciting new class offerings such as fundamentals of culinary art, robotics, career exploration, and dedicated time for staff and students to work on the Empowerment Collaborative. In alignment with our goals, we've adopted a backward design approach from grades 8 through K, allowing our elementary teachers to engage in thematic learning. Over the spring and summer, teachers participated in 9 weeks of training to integrate reading curriculum with other content areas, moving away from teaching in silos and toward a more cohesive interdisciplinary model. This year, in your folder, you will see our logic model, which reflects a shift in focus. We are not solely aiming for mastery of grade level standards, but rather striving for 50% proficiency across all grade levels and individual classrooms by the year's end. Our primary focus is on tiered instruction with an emphasis on strengthening Tier 1 to provide more targeted instruction, increase in student engagement, and enhance the impact of formative assessments. By improving Tier 1 instruction, we aim to reduce the number of students requiring Tier 2 and Tier 3 interventions, ultimately helping more students perform at grade level and succeed on summative assessments. Our PLCs and professional development sessions throughout the year will center on this goal, supported by active participation in the Empowerment Collaborative and guidance from our master teachers. If there aren't any questions or anything that I need to clarify from the packet, I will introduce Speaker Whitley Williams. She will be speaking on behalf of the empowerment, what we're doing in terms of that to help mastery. And then Lsic Kincaid, one of our master teachers, will speak on the tiered instruction.
Good.
Thank you. And Jocelyn, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Good evening. My name is Lsic Kincaid.
You have to speak into the mic.
Oh, sorry. My name is Lsic Kincaid, and I am blessed to be a second grade teacher here at Valley VPK8. And I've been recently hired on as a master teacher. And we're going to talk about, well, I'm going to talk about about our tiered instruction and how we're going to empower all learners through our tiered instruction. So the first slide that we're going to look at is what exactly is Tier 1 instruction. And as a team, we want to make our Tier 1 instruction stronger in all of our classrooms. And so what does this entail? Well, core instruction is provided to all the students. It's not differentiated, and we introduce new concepts. It's high-quality research-based teaching aligned to standards, and it is delivered by the general education teacher. This includes whole group, small group, and individual instruction. So we have whole group versus small group. So whole group, our intent is to introduce new concepts, new material. The pacing is uniform. Differentiation is limited with whole group instruction. Engagement varies. And assessment use is the general trend. Small group, the purpose is to reinforce, reteach, and extend concepts. Pacing is flexible based on the student's need. Differentiation is highly based on the data that we receive from their test scores and their assessments. Engagement, which I feel is really important, so you can have more interaction, personal interaction, and I think that is really important, so our kids feel like they know that we care about how they're doing and what they're doing. Assessment use, targeted again from the data. What are the benefits of small group instruction? Increased engagement, as I spoke of before. Students are more active and accountable. Targeted support. This is instruction tailored to the student needs. And this is what I like about small group instruction, is the immediate feedback you give to your students. That way that if we're doing something, they can see how they're doing, what they need to work on, what they are excelling at, and it builds relationships between teacher and student. And again, I feel like that is extremely important for our children to be successful.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jocelyn Kaiser. I recently came back to Fayette County. I started my career in Fayette County a few years ago, and I came back this year, and I was recently hired as well about 5 minutes ago as a master teacher. So just to continue what Mrs. Kincaid said, the power of explicit teaching. So explicit teaching is kind of the old model that you would use, like the I do, we do, you do type framework. You have those clear-cut learning goals that you're working on, and you are striving to get mastery of that goal. And you do that by modeling, by doing the think alouds, by showing them first, and then you work together through guided practice, and then wing yourself off into the independent learning so that they can show success gradually, and then they get to take off. You know, you wouldn't want to throw your 16-year-old in a car and just be like, figure it out. So you explicitly teach them. You work with them, and then you wean yourself off. So that's what we're doing here in the classroom with explicit teaching. Please. And then what is teaching without the data? You have to know what you're working with, where we're at, and where we're going. And some of the data that we're using to drive that instruction is our formative assessment. Those can look like exit tickets, observations, quick checks. When you have a teacher that is in the classroom doing that explicit teaching, they know where their kids are. They showed them where they were at, they're working with them, and they know the ones who can take off and drive that car, and they know the ones that need a few more months, you know, with the learner's permit. So they can pick up on a lot of that. We also have our summative assessments with our benchmark testing and our iReady testing that we're doing to show where they're at on a test score. And then that is used for our grouping decisions and our flexible grouping. So we base our kids, when we're in those small groups doing that guided practice, we want our kids where they can show success, and they're not like, well, Miss Kincaid can already do it, I'm just going to copy hers. But you also want them to where they can use those peer partners as well. A lot of teaching is not just teaching them how to be, you know, able to meet concepts, but also utilize their resources and go out and learn and struggle through the process of learning. And then another way we're doing that is integrating subjects for deeper learning. And what that means is our schedule is no longer science and then social studies and then English and then writing and then math. Instead, we're using this blended model where we are using science topics in math. We are using social studies topics in English. We are using all of our learning contents throughout the day to be able to get that blended model. And then that also helps with the buy-in of statewide testing because you have a lot of teachers that are like, well, I teach social studies, I don't care about GSA. Instead, we're all in this together, and we use that blended model to be able to bridge those courses together, and then the students get a better understanding of why they need to learn it. Because it brings that math into all the concepts, it brings the writing, all of it together. And we've even tagged in some social emotional learning in there with the writing as well. And then one example, or one thing that we're also doing is small group rotations. This is separate from our explicit learning. This is a different part of the day. We've already taught it, we've practiced it, we've done independent practice, but then we have our small group rotations that are a part of like our intervention in the classroom. It's not pull-out tiered intervention as far as like Title I, but it's in the classroom where every kid gets put into a small group and we get to continue working. We get to build on top of that teacher-led explicit instruction that we've already done. We get to work on that independent practice and get some of those formative assessments that we're looking at. That's where we can build those integrated lessons in. And then also we can do some technology enhanced learning such as our iReady or stuff like that. Our younger classes are really, really good at this. It's something they've been doing for years. And it's something that we are trying to, you know, expand throughout our whole pre-K through 8 is those small group instructions. Do you want to add anything on small group?
I've really enjoyed small group once I got the hang of it, which took me a while really, but now I really enjoy it because I see the benefits of it. You know, and designing, and it's constantly fluid. Your groups change. And it's a great feeling when you move students. And you know, and they love it. They love the hands-on. They love the teacher interaction. A lot of them move to independent work and are just so proud of themselves just because we have conditioned them or brought them up in a skill. So yes, we are doing small group and I really enjoy it. And some examples that I use in my classroom, I will be the teacher-led instruction. At my group, we'll have a group maybe on technology. I use the Wonders for students that struggle with reading and load their story online so they can have another version on it. There's a vocabulary game, so they get one technology turn during our small group. That is it. And then we have my aide who's doing vocabulary, spelling, whatever their need is, phonics. And then I'll have some games going on. Maybe a little roll of dice game and they're playing a game on vocabulary. So it's whatever. There's a lot of things that we do, but they really enjoy it. And I do see the benefits of it. They are learning and doing better, so.
All right, I'm Whitley Williams. I teach English to 7th and 8th grade. I just started back in December, so I'm coming up a year. I'm going to talk to you about formative assessments, which are the most useful for me as a beginning teacher, because it doesn't just gauge if my students are getting the information, it's gauging whether or not my lesson is actually effective or not. So, quick and informal checks, which are the easiest for middle school, as we only have them for 40 minutes. Exit tickets, thumbs up, thumbs down, or my student's favorite is thumbs middle. Whiteboard responses, think, pair, share. We have structured tools, running records, anecdotal notes, checklists and rubrics, student self-assessment, tech-enhanced options, quizzes, quick checks, IMAs, learning management systems, integrated subject examples, science journals, math talks, social studies debates. Switch. Thank you. So, in conclusion, small group instruction allows for targeted, differentiated support that meets students where they are. Explicit teaching ensures clarity, structure, and mastery of essential skills. Formative assessments guide instructional decisions in real time, making learning responsive and effective. Integrated subjects foster deeper understanding and relevance, helping students make meaningful connections. When Tier 1 instruction is intentional, data-driven, and engaging, every student benefits.
Very much.
Mrs. Kincaid, can I ask the question? I like what you said about the small group activities, and you were talking about how much the students enjoy it, how they like it. Are you seeing students who sort of speak out or more interactive in a small group? How do they perform when they go back to the whole group? Do you see them stepping up in the whole groups?
I do.
More
yes.
and more as they go?
Mm-hmm. Well, they're learning how to socialize,
Okay.
you know, and how to work as a team. So yeah, I do see improvements. Yeah. It's really a good thing.
Good.
Anything else?
Yes, I've got questions. First of all, what does it mean to be a master teacher, and why did you want to be one?
I love seeing the success that we've seen here at Valley. I like to be helpful. I like to be a good resource. I love the fact
Making interactive games to involve the children and get them to win fun prizes that contribute to their healthy habit. All of this is to build soft skills, and we see it every day that our students struggle just to say good morning to you and as they pass you when they walk into the building. They don't like to look up from their phones. So all of this will promote this interaction that we want to see them move towards, that they need for a workplace environment in the future. Any questions?
All right, I held my questions. Now I have a couple. And this is with empowerment, you know, we look at certain indicators to help us understand if we're achieving growth or not, right? So some of those are anecdotal. but some of them are hard numbers. So we've looked at your cohort growth in ELA and math, which is one indicator, right? We can start to see from year to year that growth. So that was great to see the cohort growth. But a couple other areas that we expect to see growth is in your attendance as students become more engaged, right, and take ownership and responsibility for their learning. Did you see growth? Have you seen that growth manifested in attendance gains yet? That's my first question.
Sorry. I think to your point, Mr. Gray, we have seen our students, I haven't looked at the attendance data real in depth myself, but one of the things that Ms. Williams can attest to in her classes is that, you know, when students are working on something that they feel is relevant to them, they're going to want to be in that class. They're going to want to attend. But what it does is that it holds them accountable from their peers. If Ms. Williams and I are working on a project and I miss 3 days, she's going to let me know about it. And she has seen your discipline will dramatically increase if they are engaged in class.
Yep, for sure.
We're hoping that the students will take on that role because we learn best from our peers. And they'll listen and they'll want to do better for their peers, and we will have to do very little if it's extreme.
Yeah.
That's the goal. That they'll want to do that with their students. The students will take care of it, so you're not pulling your load.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Any other questions on empowerment?
The escape room, is that something that is that going to be open to like the community, or?
Come on, man.
If they're all up, we'll post it everywhere. You will hear about it once all the promotional stuff is out. But the students have to make the promotions, so it'll be up to them.
Guarantee you'll get out of it.
It's been a while since West Virginia history.
Thank you.
Sorry guys, can you all hear me all right?
Yeah.
Got to flip my own slide, so I got to be over here. A couple things we're going to talk about, and these are all interwoven. You know, you want to talk about your climate and culture, but to do that, you really have to talk about your PBIS and your intent. Because those things all collaborate together to determine what your climate and culture is going to be here. Just to give you guys some ideas of some of the things that we put into place for PBIS, and I'm going to show you some pictures and things at the end of the presentation so you can kind of see the kids in action and what they think about it. We started off with our PBIS prize wheel. Some of the things they can get on that are administrator for a day, lunch with an administrator, and different prizes. But how they're able to get that prize wheel is they get a behavior ticket, and we call it our positive PBIS ticket. Not only can they get that from the teachers, faculty, and staff, but also our bus drivers. So our bus drivers are able to give them those tickets, so they get excited about it because what they do is at the end of the day, our little ones get to march up and put their ticket in the basket. And each grade level has a basket. And what happens every Monday is we draw one out of each basket. And then we call their names out, they get their certificate for their top dog, and they get to come down and spin the prize wheel. So they're pretty excited about that. Now our middle schoolers, they act like they're not excited about it, but then they walk over to you, they'll say, hey, can you pull my name out today? So regardless of what they think, they're kind of too cool, but they still want to be a part of that process. So it's been really good. And one of the newest things that we started, we had gone away from top dog and just started with our student of the week. And after meeting with our PBIS team and trying to figure out some new and exciting things to do for the kids, we went back to having a student of the week. And that's not just 1 or 2 students for the school. We're going to every single classroom and our teachers are picking a student of the week. And what we do is I'm going into that classroom, they're getting presented with that certificate in class, or getting their picture taken with that certificate. And you guys will see when you walk out, you'll see our pictures hanging up in the cafeteria and the sign beside it so that everybody knows who got that award for that week. And the goal is to give everybody an opportunity. We want everybody to know that they're enough to be a student of the week. So by the time the year rolls around, we should have just about every student in this building having that opportunity to have their picture on the wall, have that moment where the kids come up, especially our elementary kids. They love to walk by the pictures and they want to see who's been put in there. So our elementary are our pups of the week, and our middle schoolers are our greyhounds of the week. And something we haven't started yet, but we'll be starting next week, are our alpha dogs, which are our staff of the month.
Nice.
So we're wanting to get our bus drivers, and you'll notice when you go out there and you see the pictures, the pups are small, the greyhounds are normal, but our alpha dogs are all jacked, man, we got the muscles. I mean, we really want to make it look good. So, but we want to reward not only our kids, but our staff that works hard every day, just like Mr. Warble said earlier. We want to show credit where it's due. We know who works hard and keeps us running. So we want everybody to have that opportunity, and that goes back in with our PBIS and our climate, our culture, attendance. That's not only attendance for students, but attendance for staff. We want it to be a welcoming environment where you're recognized for what you do and that we see you. We've started intramurals. That's been a big positive thing during our lunch times. We've got some great teachers and staff that have really put together some organized sports that are specific to our middle schoolers, the ones that they voted for, what they wanted to play. And today, I think we had a basketball game, and the kids came out 13-13. We usually only go to 12. Man, this one took forever. You know, they were excited about it, that they really have something to look forward to. And that's created a little bit of a buzz in the school and given them more involvement in their culture. One of the things that, and I know a lot of us have talked about attendance, but a lot of times we don't see how it really affects not only us, but the whole community and everybody around us. You know, so one of the things I kind of wanted to talk about before we get into our attendance are what are the effects on the student? Well, we know that there's learning loss. But it's not just learning loss. We have to think about loss of community, social skills. What about when that student comes back and their friend groups are now friends with somebody else and they're more alone now because they hadn't been there. So we have to think about all the ways that impacts the student. And then we have to think about what are the effects on the classroom. We know that social aspects change with kids by the second. But when that student's not there, the kids see that, they realize it. But when that student comes back, that teacher not only has to try to get that kid caught up, but they have to slow down their instruction. And that's hurting the other students in the class. Trying to get the one who's been out of that classroom caught up. Okay? So it not only has an effect on that student, but the class in general. It creates more work on your educators, and it slows down the learning of the students in the class because we have to make up for that time. Then we have to think about what are the effects on the school. You know, we look at the time that we have with our students is short. So we know that when we're looking at overall grade levels, when that student gets behind in this grade level and they move up to the next because of absences, we know that we're already going to be at a deficit. So that affects our school, our grades, our end of the year testing. All these things play a factor in that. And that's part of the reason that we want to make our climate and culture a place. And that's working along with what you asked earlier with that empowerment collaborative. That's why we're pushing so hard on that, to get the kids involved. The ones that might be attendance issues, the ones that might be discipline issues, put them in leadership roles, and they want to be here. And I've already seen, I know you asked earlier, but I've seen some of our students who had issues in the past who are wanting to take on those leadership roles, and it gives them something to look forward to when they come back, and they know that they want to do better. And that also comes back to some of the things we've implemented in the building with our esports team. We were the first in the county to start esports. Our kids are loving that. I had probably at least 6 or 7 last year that were behavior issues that now are no longer a problem whatsoever because they know we've got 2 seasons of esports and they don't want to miss it. You know, things like that make a big difference in our building. Any opportunity that we can give our students, we're going to try to give them to help them be successful. And that's like Mr. Helby, and I'm going to have him come up and speak here in just a minute. We want to be the first to do a robotics and drone competition team in the county. We have probably 80 to 90% of the stuff that we need already. And Mr. Helby was a great person for robotics and won some championships, went to state tournaments, did a lot of things in the school that he and I both taught at before. And we really want to see that get started here and give our kids that opportunity. Some of the ways that we're going to be changing our strategies for attendance. Of course, we've got the PBIS, we've got our Empowerment Collaborative, we have our extracurricular to come in. The kids that don't have the athletic background, we want to find something for them. And that's why it's important for us to want to try to push that robotics and the drone competition. That's something that we can really pull in a different kind of student. Someone who may not be out for football, may not wrestle, may not do all these other things, but they are interested in robotics. They want to get into the STEM background. So that's one of the things that we're going to do to try to boost our attendance. We're going with the county motto, strive for the best, 9 days or less, attendance matters. We want to educate. There'll be short lessons that will be going around to our teachers, and they're going to educate our students on those reasons, the things that we just talked about, how it affects the student, how it affects your class, and short little mini lessons that we can do to reinforce attendance with our students. Now, that's only as good as we can get it out to the public, right? So some of the things that we're looking at, we want to start announcing this. Where's our biggest captive audiences? Those are at our athletic events. So we want to start announcing things like that over our PA systems. We want to make sure that everybody that we have in our athletic events hears that. So we get as many people as possible. We'll have that on social media. We'll be doing other things as far as banners, signage. We want to partner with our local businesses. When you can see a sign up on the McDonald's drive-through window, I think probably 90% of our parents that drop our kids off late are because they're getting a hot drink, you know, getting their hot coffee in the mornings at McDonald's. So if we can put an attendance sign, the attendance matters at McDonald's, I think it'll make a little bit of a difference. We'll start seeing some of these things. So we want to relay the message, and we have followed the county schedule for incentives, dates, and rewards. Some of the things that we've done are like our attend dances. So we play on words. We had some dance last year with our elementary, our middle school. They really enjoyed that. I ended up getting called Mr. McFun after that by our elementary students because I was dancing to Taylor Swift. It was not good dancing, it was dancing with the kids. It was actually terrible. It was, the kids did. Don't you worry. Listen, I can't take a minute. Who invited these people?
Something's wrong with the microphone, right?
Oh, can you hear me?
No, I'm talking about
Oh, yes. But our biggest thing is we want to create an atmosphere of learning and mutual respect. As you can see, I get a lot from my staff. But guys, we do have a good climate and culture. This is one of the things, you guys see this, you know, it's not fake. It's something that we do. I really enjoy the staff that we have here, and we enjoy our time together, and we get things done. And that's the most important thing. Our field trips with our 8th grade high school football nights, that's been a big success, taking our kids up and letting them watch Riverside play, Oak Hill, and Oak Hill, good job. And then we have another trip planned for trail, and I think that's going to be a great experience, getting our 8th graders accustomed to what it's going to be like in high school, letting them see how things go and how it can be fun for them next year. Just so that they're not as stressed out or worried about the high school atmosphere and know what they're kind of getting into. That's been a great start. We've done a lot of cookouts here with our staff. I think we even, Mr. Sparks and I were flipping some pancakes on the Blackstone, you know. putting bacon on there, scrambling some eggs. Listen,
didn't get
I used to be a
invited.
really big guy, so I like to talk about food, that's the quickest way to my heart. So if my staff likes food, we're going to cook food. But we want to make everybody aware that we do things like that. And it's not just for our teachers. We want everybody there, our bus drivers, our custodians, our cooks. Everybody that plays a part in our school are essential here. And that's what we want to see, is all of our essential people being here and doing what we can do together. We have our extracurricular team, planning events. We've got a lot of things getting ready to be started there that we're looking forward to. Our 10 dances, some of this stuff I've already gone over, but I want to talk a little bit about our partnerships. We've got a lot of collaborations in the works, working with WVU, Concord. Concord has an amazing esports team, and they do a lot of scholarships with them. And one of the things that we've done is we got together and we want to do some field trips with our esports team, let them see the collegiate atmosphere and what's possible with esports, because there are so many opportunities in that right now, and that's another opportunity we want to give for our kids. And when they can go up and see that and see what's possible, I mean, it's amazing to me how many scholarships are out there right now for people when they get involved in esports. Our Mountaineer Challenge Academy, just across the river here, we built a good partnership with them. They want to bring some of their students over for community service hours, help out around the building, help us with the facilities, and we're all about that. You know, anytime we can build that partnership with local organizations and other places, we're going to do that. Local churches, they've been great to us. Local fraternities, I mean, as far as book bags, I don't think we could fit another book bag full of supplies in our building right now if we wanted to. I think we've got enough for 2 for every kid in this building because of all the support that we have from our local fraternities and different organizations. Working with Montgomery General Hospital, we have a Read Aloud program. We're going to have our grandparents come in and read to our kids. You know, that's always a great time. We're starting back our National Junior Honor Society and really looking forward to getting that going and getting our kids involved and letting them see what successes they can have with that. And our staff trivia. It's always nice to get all the staff involved into something fun. So what was one of the last ones we did, Ms. Spears?
Oh, well, you would, over the announcement, he would say, we need somebody from a movie.
An 80s action
character, like,
movie
we need John
character.
Bender to the office, and then of course I was the first one to say, from the Breakfast Club, and I go,
It's just something fun that we try to do to keep the staff engaged, involved, and we want to make it as fun as possible as we can here, because as hard as everybody works, we need a little bit of fun time too. But it's always interesting when you can come up with a silly 80s character and somebody knows it right off. But the only thing I got to watch is some of my teachers, they'll run to the office and try to get it. I'm like, no running in the halls. These are just some examples, some of the pictures that we have. I don't generally take pictures as we do things, so there's a lot of stuff on here that I don't have. You know, like our dinners and stuff, I don't want everybody seeing us pigging out, but you know, the PBIS prize wheel, you can see how excited these kids are to get to come up and do these things. These were our students of the week, our top dogs, and man, I'm telling you, they love it. They were awesome. Look here, I see one of them here.
We got a top dog with us.
The 8th grade high school football night. Kids had a great time. I mean, it was a great experience for them. This was before. And like I said, I mean, I like to cook. So we did have a cookout before we left. We all hung out together. I mean, it was just a good time.
I don't remember you cooking anything.
Hey, listen, you did the hot dogs. I put the chili sauce. Intramurals, the guys out there, they playing their basketball games. Payday, Mr. Smith came up with a pretty good one. You know, we can't give our teachers extra pay, but we can't give them a payday when they're doing great and having a good week, you know. And I thought that was pretty cool. When Mr. Sparks came up, and he's like, hey, I know I can't give you any money, but here, have a payday. And just something to show that we recognize their efforts. our esports team, you can see these guys. I mean, how cool is that to have a room that was set up and I don't know, I just think it's awesome. The kids really taking control over it and getting in there and doing some of these things. It's been a great opportunity for our boys and girls. We had, I think we had 4 girls and 17, 18 boys, and I had to turn a lot of people away. I'm kind of nervous this year to see how many start applying, because I always hate to have to turn kids away, but we only have room for about 20. Holiday fun. Was that you, Miss Sears?
It's not me, that's you.
We're always trying to do something to keep the kids encouraged. I mean, whether it's the Easter Bunny fist bumping the kids out there, or the Grinch trying to steal their Christmas. And I had to put this in there. That is the best Bob Ross I've seen in a long time. So we wanted to make sure that we got that in there. And as we kind of go along, we wanted to talk about that STEM class. You know, we call it robotics, but it's actually a whole lot of different things involved in there. And this is just an example of some of the things that our kids are getting an opportunity to do now. We've got the Spiros in there. Mr. Helvey's teaching them how to code them, and they're going to start going through their mazes and different things. We have a lot of different opportunities for our kids that they wouldn't have had if we hadn't been able to start this program. I'll get you there. But I want to get with Mr. Helvey here in just a second, but I do want to show you something before I turn it over to Mr. Helvey. We have been working on a new school video, about 2 minutes. Let's see what you think. Let that in because he dropped the ball.
Very nice.
Just something short to kind of give an overview of what we have to offer as far as our facilities and kind of our mindset. Still a work in progress. This is the first public showing, so just wanted to give everybody an opportunity to see what they have. If you guys wouldn't mind, I'd like to send up Mr. Helvey, and he's going to get into discussing a little bit about what led to our locker request.
Okay.
You were talking about your robotics and your drones. You may want to collaborate with the coaches down at Riverside. They have an award-winning robotic and drone program down there.
Yeah, and that's something, like I said, Mr. Helvey, he was our robotics coach at East Bay when I was there, and we were able to bring him over here this year. And so he's already pretty steeped into the background, how to do it, how to run it.
He probably
And-
knows who's doing
yeah.
it down there, because they're, I mean, those kids are racking up awards like mad down there.
Yeah, some of them were his kids.
Okay.
They moved up to Riverside, and not to toot his horn or make his head big, but he really brought those kids up and did a great job with them.
Real quick, we can talk about this later, get the principals with me, and we'll talk about how to get you to the 100%. You said you're about 90% there. I'd like to find out, give me a proposal, we'll see if we can get you to 100%. But I'm not doing that in front of a bunch of people, because we got a lot to do tonight, so we can wait, but I want to see what we can do to get you there. I know Mr. Helvey, he'll say, I can tell you right now, right?
Slight idea. Well, my name is Mike Helvey. You know, I never pass up a chance to score some brownie points, so I want to thank Mr. McPhail for recruiting myself, not only myself, but my wife. My wife is a 7th and 8th grade science teacher here. And I want to thank all the staff members, Ms. Smith, Mr. Sparks, and everybody for making us feel so welcome here. 2018, the principal at East Bank asked me to teach science. Sure, I love science. I'm an electrical engineer. So as I was walking out of his office, he said, oh, by the way, you're doing robotics too. What's robotics? Well, that's history. For the last 7, 8 years, I have done robotics at East Bank. I have a county championship under my belt. I started the drone program at East Bank. I was able to take a team to Fairmont for the Northeastern United States Championship. We came in 2nd place. We'd actually won, but due to a technicality, we had to replay the 3rd match and unfortunately lost. That put us in the top 8 in the United States in drones. When Mr. McPhail talked to me about coming here, one of the things I asked him about was robotics and drones. I absolutely wanted to start the program here. And we are inching towards that goal. I'm really looking forward to getting started. I've got a lot of kids who are anxious to start on it. Mr. McPhail mentioned the Spiros. We started that last week. They have talked about teamwork. All these robotics programs require teamwork. They work together. Our robotics program will involve engineering, critical thinking, design, building, hands-on. I've been teaching for 14 years now. And I have found that anytime you put kids together in small groups, they work much better and the attendance improves. I've got kids just today. Mr. Helvey, we're going to work on these robots tomorrow? Yep. Yay! They're anxious to come back tomorrow and do the robots. I am teaching them how to code. And I'm old school, I still call it programming. But they are extremely excited about this. I actually was able to talk NASA into donating some equipment for our robotics program here. So I do have some equipment from NASA. But hopefully we can get this started real soon. We are running out of time if we want to be competitive. It takes anywhere from a month to 2 months to build a robot. They have to build it, test it, redesign it, rebuild it. It takes a lot of time. So hopefully we can get that started. Okay. Lockers. You mentioned, had a question about lockers. I like to give assignments for students to think about things, and I always put them in small groups. I assigned them into groups of 3 in the classrooms, gave them the assignment, come up with ideas that could improve the school. And I got the idea from Ms. Smith about the lunchroom and salad bar. So the students came up with ideas and I had them presented to the class. And I had one group that really stood out. They were very enthusiastic. They did a lot of research. They came up with alternatives. And we have one of those young ladies here today, Lila. I asked Ms. Smith if she would entertain them and let them give their presentation to her, and she agreed. And our last LSIC meeting, they got in front of the group and gave their presentation. And I think we have the video of it.
We're going to email the video to
Okay.
the board members. We didn't want to put Lila on the spot this evening. Her other two partners are at the volleyball game. So they're competing in the volleyball game. And we didn't want to put her on the spot, but we wanted her to be here to recognize her because of the work that they've done and the time that she put in on this and how she tied that back and how her group tied that back to curriculum, climate and culture. I mean, I just thought that was phenomenal that they were able to step back and work on these kinds of things together and actually articulate it at an LSIC meeting in front of all my awesome parents and teachers and the things that they did. I was very impressed by that. So I wanted her here to recognize her for that and the work that she's doing.
Yes. The other there were a lot of good ideas that came out of that, but they showed more enthusiasm and more excitement over it than all the other teams. So I want to thank you.
Thank you. Lila, you got anything you want to add to that other than, yeah, what he said? If you're too shy, that's fine. We can talk after this. How's that sound? The lady right beside you knows that I'll have a conversation. We'll talk.
And I do want to say a big thank you to my parents. We have some great LSIC members here. Our chair, Miss Lake, and then Miss Petrie, and Miss Harvey, I think she had to head out there. But, you know, sometimes we get long-winded and people have other things they've got to do, so they had to head out. But very appreciative in my LSIC team of teachers and staff. They're doing a great job, and we really appreciate everything they're putting into it.
Excellent. All right. All right.
We'll have Amber to come up now. Amber is our therapist.
Okay.
Everybody's ready for some therapy.
Everybody's tired and hungry. Thank you, dear. Oh, perfect. Thanks.
I'll run interference while she's passing out stuff. Before anybody else sneaks out, which I understand.
Thank you.
I can tell you I'm very proud of the bunch tonight and everybody presenting and talking about the school. You can feel the love in this building. You can feel that people actually give a darn about kids. You can walk into some schools and you get the feeling of, what are you doing here? I feel like people are like, hey, what are you doing here? Come here, we're going to talk about the Greyhounds and maybe the Greyhound grub that the principals feed the staff and then hear about what the students are doing. So before the night gets away, I just want to give my 2 cents worth that you can feel the love and the excitement here in this building. I can honestly say when I was here as a past employee, there was a lot of hard work here, but there seemed to be a struggle of getting, and Ms. Beard, you know what I'm saying, it was right there, but it just kept going a little bit back, and I think we're getting over that hump now, and that's due to all the hard work that's been done in this room, and I want to say thank you for all your hard work. It's not gone unnoticed, but that might help with run interference, and now we'll talk about what I just kind of said, the love and the atmosphere here with the social emotional part that you're going to talk about.
So my name is Amber Ham. I am a Project Aware therapist here at Valley. So I'm going to talk about what are the challenges to address mental health throughout the region. So I feel the top 3 challenges is isolation and lack of resources. So we are a small community and we do have some limited resources here. Parent engagement. I know that we are working as a team, as a support staff, in trying to get more parent engagement and as a school as well. But that's something that we've had conversations about, and we're going to try to get some collaboration with Oakville High School and trying to have more parent engagement nights and things like that. But I'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. And then stigma. So, you know, even though mental health awareness is more common now, and as Project Aware, you know, we do mental health awareness campaigns, but there is still that stigma around mental health. So the first thing is we can implement some of the things that we already have in place. So one of those is Project Aware. So like I said, I am the Project Aware therapist, and I'm stationed here at the school, and I'm here Monday through Friday. And that's something that the staff, I've gotten referrals from New York for Health, that they can put in referrals for those students that they feel need those Tier 3 mental health services. So Project Aware, those of you that don't know, Project Aware is designed to increase awareness of and address mental health issues among school-age youth, build upon or expand the current expanded school mental health framework, and provide students who have behavioral health issues with support and mental health therapy here at the school. So a lot of the parents love it because they don't have to sign their kid out of school. You know, I work with the staff, and they're really great at working with me and just coming up with a plan on what would be the best time to pull those students. So then this slide right here is just some of the things that we've done as a support staff, and then some of the things that we've done as Project Aware. So I wanted to make a note of the total number of referrals to the support staff. So the support staff is Terrence Ham, he's our social worker here. And then we have Leslie Wickline, she is the school counselor, and then you have me. So we had around 350 referrals to our support staff team, last year, and then we've already had 50 so far in this school year. So keep in mind that's just 4.5 weeks. So that's already our number right there. And then home visits, last year we had 42 home visits, and I think this is a great opportunity to get to talk with the parents, but also provide them with different resources. So, you know, I've sat in on some of the home visits and gotten to talk to the services that I provide, but also to just different resources that are out there that can help them and their family. And then one of your handouts, it's the last handout that I gave you. So our Suicide Prevention Week was the 8th through the 12th. So this was a flyer that I had created, and we did a dress-up week with the staff and the students to promote suicide prevention and just awareness. And we had about 380 participants per day, and we did that Monday through Friday. Then over the summer, so I still do therapy and I still do different things over the summer. And one of those was the Mental Health Mondays with the Valley Greyhound. And so before the summer ended, I got videos with different students. And there was 9 videos in total, and I posted one a week. And it was just them explaining what they do for their mental health. And so they gave some tips and things like that. And we had around 1,600 views on those videos. And then No Vape November is coming up. This is based on last year. So we had 19 videos from Valley VPK8. We had 15 students that did videos, and then we had 5 staff members that did videos as well. And we had a little over 31,000 total views on those videos. The Mental Health Art Show, we had to do it a little bit differently. Typically we do it in May, but we had to do it a little bit differently last year. We did it in February. So we had about 80 participants, but something that I thought was really awesome and I wanted to include on here, we were able to reach, so I took pictures of the students and their certificates, and the 3 that won the mental health poster contest, Project Aware had purchased different art supplies for them. And so I took pictures of those, I took pictures of their artwork, and I posted those on our Project Aware Valley Facebook page. And we were able to reach 4,200 people through just those posts alone. And then it was, you know, around 10,700 views on those posts. And then Kindness Week, that's in February, it's around Valentine's Day, and we had around 400 participants last year that participated each day. That was another dress-up day that we did, and we had them do different acts of kindness throughout that week as well. So the last thing on there says graphs, and it says see handouts. So I just wanted to show you guys some data, just data that I do as a project aware therapist with Tier 3. And so I wanted to touch on the top presenting problems that I see from our students and get referrals for, and then it breaks it down the percentage of my caseload. And some of those overlap, right? So some of them, the students aren't only struggling with anger, but they may have ADHD, or, they may have anxiety and depression. So, we're targeting both of those. And then the first one for 24-25, you can see the percentage of improvements that was shown. And so on that one, the only one that was lower was with trauma and then adjustment disorder. And I think the main factor with that is just some of those kids, unfortunately, are still in those, traumatic situations. So that's something that I think has really impacted that. And then you can look at the data for this school year so far, for the 25-26 school year, and you'll see the different percentages. And then the percentages of improvement so far. And keep in mind, school year, 4.5 weeks. So just some of those that I've seen over the summer trickling into this school year as well. So some additional positives and things that I think that we are utilizing to target these challenges that have arose is we have done different PD days. So we were able to get somebody in from Marshall, and so it was Jen Fletcher, and she came and gave a presentation to our staff in February, and it was a PBIS and a de-escalation strategies training. And then we were able to have the Project Aware conference over the summer, and so it was 2 days where I feel like we were really productive and able to come up with a game plan for this school year and what we wanted to see. And so we also had to identify a plan for the last full year of the Project Aware grant. So we had to move some things around and delegate some different things that I was taking care of, and seeing what that would look like and how we could follow through with those once this grant is up. And so we also wanted to focus on more clinical and increase the amount of referrals that I'm receiving. So focusing more on those therapy services to those students. And so I think we're off to a great start because as of the first day of the school year, I've already had 13 referrals. So that's something that we're already seeing that increase. And then I think having a crisis team in place, and last year we were able to create a leveling system because we felt like it just flowed a little bit better. And so an example of that would be, they would say level 4 in room 404 or Miss Amber's room. And then there's a description of what that level means. And all the staff members were provided that. And they were also provided different coping strategies that they could use in their classroom for certain situations before they involve us. And then implementing PBIS tickets, weekly drawings, Mr. McPhail already touched on that. And then getting to attend the Fayette Prevention Coalition meetings and networking. So thankfully I'm able to attend those monthly meetings, and I've already been able to make some connections for different PD days. And so Sue Wood and another member, I'm able to hopefully get them out, and we've already collaborated on different things for the staff, the students, and then also for our parents as well. So the next one focuses on our future plans. So we want to have mental health parent engagement nights with Title I. We've been in contact with Title I at the end of last year, and we don't know exactly how that's going to look, but we do want to do more of those and get that parent involvement. And then Drug Free All-Stars, we did have them come out, and we've already been in contact with them, and we're just waiting to hear back. And then Red Ribbon Week, that's at the end of October. Dot Day, so we set that for April 21st, and so what that will look like
is PK through 3rd grade will decorate a white t-shirt that will have different colored dots. And so there's a book called Dot Day, and we'll go around and read that to the different classrooms, and it just celebrates differences in acceptance. So we're excited to get to do that. We already have the donations of the white t-shirts and the paint that we'll need to decorate those shirts. And then November, Mental Health Art Show, Kindness Week, PBS Bulletin Board. So that was something that we were able to talk about over at the Project Aware Conference over the summer. And so we're going to create different bulletin boards that focus on a certain behavior. So we're going to look at that data and see what behaviors are increased for that month, or and then we're going to create that bulletin board and show them what the expectation and what we're looking for them to do. And then mental health bulletin boards as well. And then another thing, Chiller Thriller. So Rhonda Chica, she's able to come to the school and do that with the kids, and they love it. They love it. And so it's just a story that teaches students it's okay to ask for help, and it's choreographed to the village. And so we do that around Halloween time. The Giving Tree, so we were able to help 40 to 50 families last year for Christmas. And so we were really thankful for that. Our community, we had a lot of donations and sponsors and things like that, so we're really thankful for that. And then our food bags, that's something that we do on Fridays. And so we're going to be starting that this Friday. And so we give out roughly 100 per week. So we have different churches and different organizations that give donations for that as well. Then the career fair, we had that at the end of last year. We plan to do that again. PBIS incentives that Mr. McPhail's already touched on. The Get a Life simulation, that's for 8th graders. We did that at the end of last year as well, and we plan to do that again. We actually, so September is Suicide Awareness Month, and so we were able to get in contact, Mr. Ham, he had a contact with Prevent Suicide, and so they're scheduled to come out here on September 29th, and they're going to be here all day, and they're going to give different presentations about suicide and different things like awareness, and they are going to, it's 5th through 8th, yes, so they're going to work with those classrooms and do that. And then lunch detention with ripple effects. So ripple effects is an evidence-based curriculum that assists with certain targeted behaviors. So that's something that we're going to start doing as well. And then, like I talked about earlier, we're going to connect with Oak Hill High School and work on different communication avenues for those parents. And we're talking about possibly adding to our school webpage and having a drop-down menu. That way they know what different things are going on, like the Suicide Prevention Week and things like that. Because we do have the Project Aware Valley Facebook page, and then we have the Valley Facebook page. But we just want to make sure that we are able to reach every single parent, in the best way possible. That is all I have. Do you guys have any questions?
That's all? You're sure that's all? Gosh. Yeah. Well, you know me, I'm going to say something, because of you and Rhonda and the school that supports you. So tell me about, don't forget to give us shirts in April so we can do Dot Day with you, because that would be a great connection with Read Aloud. Getting all the schools to read aloud that book the same week and make it a county-wide promotion, and have us video doing our shirts too. I think that would be, we could do that. Anyway, if we can't, we'll get some pizza and do some shirts. So when you, I always ask this question, when you do a home visit, how do you conduct those so that you know that they're effective, and what ways do you consider them to be effective? You know what I'm asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think just
seeing, like, depending on what we're doing the home visit for. So typically.
So tell us what you do a home visit for, like the ABC, like, you know, it's attendance, discipline, and what's the third one? Forget, but anyway.
Yeah,
Great.
so absenteeism, so I don't always do the home visits.
No, but.
Absenteeism, if there's certain concerns that the teacher has in the classroom, and they just want us to talk with the parents and just give them extra support and things like that. And so, you know, typically it's two people, so, you know, we team up and we go into the homes and we talk with them, and then, you know, for me, I typically do like a follow-up. So, you know, like a phone call and just talking with them and just seeing, hey, is this something that, you know, we're still seeing? Is this something that, you know, do you need extra support? Do you need help? Because we've even done extra home visits. So we've given information out and then we've done a follow-up home visit and saying, hey, is this something that, do you need help filling this out? Do you need help understanding what this is and things like that?
And that works into your giving tree and all the other things that you know about the community.
Yeah.
So tell the story for everybody, and I'll stop talking. You know what story I want you to tell about the nonverbal child.
Okay.
And then, and the other thing is, please come out and support Prevent Suicide, because I think they've been defunded, if I'm not mistaken, during the big picture of what's going on in our state, in our country. So I tried to work with them before I left New River Health, and there wasn't anybody there. So make sure you get the community to come out and support these folks, because everybody counts on them for this. If it, God forbid, happens in your school or in your community, that's who they call first, and they come. And if they're having that kind of challenge, it'd be a good time for this community and others, Fayette County schools especially, to support them. But would you tell that one story, and then I'll stop talking, I swear.
So I had a referral towards the end of last year, and it was a student that is nonverbal. And so that was something that I had brainstormed with different colleagues, just trying to come up with different ideas and, you know, meet this kid where they're at, right? Not force them to talk or anything like that, but just meet them where they're at. And so somebody had given me the suggestion of using a whiteboard. And so I had presented this to the child, and they seemed to love it. You know, they smiled, and they were quick to write down different things, and they were drawing as well. But that was something that I used to communicate. And so after a couple sessions, they felt comfortable enough to talk to me. And so now, you know, they don't even need the whiteboard. So that's something that just building that rapport and meeting them where they're at and not forcing them to do something that they, you know, didn't feel comfortable at the time, I think was really important in that moment. But I was really happy to see that. And even only after a couple sessions, just to see them open up was pretty awesome to get to witness that. Of course. Okay. Is there any other questions? No? Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Ms. Smith, thank you to you and your staff and your LSIC committee. Wonderful presentation this evening. Lots of great information sharing, and as the superintendent stated, we can see the passion here, and I love to see all the great things that's going on. So thank you. Thank you to everyone who came out this evening. We've got just a couple items, housekeeping items to clean up here, and then we'll close our meeting out. So board members, future meetings, we don't have it listed on the agenda, but we do have a meeting, if you'll make note, on the 29th at 3 p.m. And then on the 30th, we'll end end the month with a regular meeting at 6 p.m. at the board office. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Whitlock. Thank you, Mr. Groom. All in favor signify by aye. Aye.